You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship Your holy name. Lord, I worship Your holy name. Lord, I worship Your holy name.
Dear friends, the internet today is a great source of information. It is also known as the super information highway. Yes, super information highway, because it is the number one source that people of all ages turn to. There are a lot of people and there is a lot of good sides into the net. A network of networks interconnecting and spanning the whole globe. The options people have online nowadays are limitless. But at the same time, millions of women and girls around the world are subjected to deliberate violence because of their gender. It is a abiding duty of each of us to be part of the solution to changing online culture through the creation of gender sensitivity and friendly content online. This requires moving beyond digital literacy, efforts to be taken to teach girls how to be safely consumed and be an active contributors and shapers of this online world. So this international webinar is the initiative of the Department of Social Work at Madistella College, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh in India, to create a global and national perspective of online safety for everyone, especially for women. And this is organized on behalf of Anti-Human Trafficking Club of our college too. The purpose of this webinar is to increase awareness on online abuse, build capacity to prevent online abuses of women, and to give information on online all of us. Today, we are privileged to have resource persons from USA, South Africa, Nepal, Philippines, Pakistan, Italy, Vietnam, and 4 states of India. All the speakers will be addressing to us for the coming 3 days. We are very privileged to have all of you who are offline and online joining this international webinar to say that we care for the safety of women in the world. Dear speakers, I appreciate your willingness to be speakers for this great webinar, which shows is a sign of your care and concern for the digital safety of women from sexual exploitation and human trafficking. Thank you for your precious presence with us at this moment. Now, I invite Dr. Sister Jessna Fortress, the principal of Stella College, to deliver the welcome speech. I am lucky to tell you, Sister Jessna Fortress, she welcomes all that is innovative for the development of the college.
Good morning. It's with immense pleasure and anticipation that I welcome all the participants to this 3-day international webinar on online safety of women from sexual exploitation and human trafficking, organized by the Department of Social Work, along with the Anti-Human Trafficking Club of Maristella College, Vijayawada. A warm welcome to Sister Slivathumma, correspondent Maristella College, and all the speakers of these 3 days program. Sister Gabriela Bottani, International Coordinator, Global Network, Talitacum, Italy. Reverend Father Dr. Obino Mulega, Zambia Catholic University, South Africa. Fauzia Gulab, Academic Coordinator, Notre Dame Institute of Education, Karachi, Pakistan. Vikash Dungana, Project Coordinator, Nepal. Srimati Vasireddy Padma, Chairperson, Mahila Commission, Andhra Pradesh. KGV Sarita, Additional SP, CID, In Charge SP. Women Protection Cell, Andhra Pradesh Police. Dr. PM Nair, IPS, Retired DGP, Advisor, NRCHT, RR University, Ahmedabad. Guillermo Galarza Abizaid, Vice President, Partnerships and Law Enforcement Training, Alexandria, USA. Govinda Bhattarai, Program Manager, Good Shepherd International Foundation, Nepal. Dr. Srija Ramani B. Karalam, Professor and Research Coordinator, Christ University, Bangalore. Sister Meera, President Amrit, Asian Movement Women Religious Working Against Human Trafficking, New Delhi. Professor Saraswati Raju Iyer, Director IQAC, Acharya Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. Miss Sherin, Student President, AHTC, Kerala. Shri Sabarisa College. Samir Dutt, Founder and CEO, Foundation Futuristic Technologies Private Limited, Solutions for a Safer Planet, Delhi. Mr. David, Senior Program Manager, Child Protection, Hyderabad, Telangana. Ms. Titi Sangil, Cyber Guardians, PH, Philippines. Mary Adeline Abamo, Talitacum, Vietnam, Southeast Asia. Mr. Balakumar, President, Cyber Society of India, Additional Superintendent of Police, retired, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Sister Annie Jesus, Social Activist, Chhattisgarh. Mrs. Sharon Rodriguez, Advocate and Social Activist, Mumbai. Ms. Pallavi Ghosh, Founder, Impact and Dialogue Foundation, Assam. Ms. Sata Joshita, Student President, a Anti-Human Trafficking Club of Maristella College, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. faculty, students, and participants. With the outbreak of the pandemic, most people all over the world have been staying home for more than a year now. As a consequence, users of all ages have become dependent on their devices and on the internet as never before. People spend a lot of time online for education, shopping, financial transactions, leisure, and to keep in touch with family and friends. As they do this, studies have shown that they are more vulnerable and exposed to threats. We also know that women are more susceptible to such dangers for obvious reasons. It is imperative, therefore, to ensure their online safety and security by making them tech savvy and digitally literate. Given this need, the initiative by the Department of Social Work in organizing this webinar to invite thinking minds from different parts of the world to consider and discuss the issue of online safety of women from sexual exploitation and human trafficking is timely and most needed. Gender-based abuse on the internet in the form of sexual harassment, trolling, messages threatening rape and murder, or leaking private pictures and videos without consent, and trafficking have become rampant. The Anti-Human Trafficking Club of Maristella College recognizes that the pandemic has changed how young girls and women engage with online platforms and the exponential increase in their exposure to the risk of cybercrime that this changed engagement has brought in. They need both information and guidance to steer them through the many pitfalls they may confront online. Maristella is an institution dedicated to the cause of women empowerment, perceiving global and national needs, creating awareness of issues that affect adversely human beings, in particular women, and acting to address them is the mission of the college. This webinar is an initiative motivated by our vision: empower, enrich, excel, and transform. As you just heard, we have speakers from 4 different continents: the US, Italy, South Africa, Philippines, Vietnam, Nepal, and Pakistan, and a host of Indian speakers representing in organizations as varied as the Mahila Commission of Andhra Pradesh, the police, Christ and Acharya Nagarjuna universities, anti-human trafficking clubs, the UNICEF Cell for Child Protection, and independent social activists who will all be sharing their experiences and expertise on the subject. Different perspectives, interventions, and initiatives will therefore be presented, helping towards a comprehensive understanding of the situation and the possible precautions to prevent and protect the vulnerable from the cybercrime. I welcome once more all our speakers, both national and international, to this webinar that will undoubtedly provide invaluable inputs and insights, and thus help significantly in planning measures for the online safety of women. I invite all the participants to enjoy the sessions, become better informed, and perhaps contribute to the mission of keeping women safe from cybercrime. I congratulate Sister Sahaya, Head Department of Social Work, and Ms. Kalpana, Faculty Department of Social Work, for organizing this 3-day international webinar on a grand scale. Wish you all a fruitful and successful webinar. Thank you and God bless you.
Welcome, Sri.
It was very inspiring to listen to a person who is very dynamic and enthusiastic to bring all that is new to the College of Maristella. Thank you, sister. Now I call upon Mrs. Little Farr, the head of the Department of Physics, to introduce Srimati Vasudhi Padma, Chairperson, Mahila Commission, Andhra Pradesh, India.
Is she coming? Should we unmute? She has gone. A pleasant good morning to all of you. I am Dr. G. Little from the Department of Physics. Feeling so delighted to introduce Ms. Vasi Reddy Padma to the August gathering. Ms. Vasi Reddy Padma hails from Jagirpet in Krishna district from Andhra Pradesh, India. She grew up with a lot of ways from her student life onwards. She has been so active in socio-literary debates and organized many rallies, awareness programs, and published many books. All these activities laid a strong foundation for her career. She is so friendly, active, well-known, and a dynamic personality in the society. She is so concerned about women empowerment, and so she set up Rajmantri Women Committee and solved many women issues. Vasi Padma ma'am is so alert and would be the first person in countering the criticism against women. This commitment made her to be noticed by YSR Congress Party leader, and she was made the spokesperson for YSRCP. Currently, she is the leading women leader in YSRCP and is the chairperson of Andhra Pradesh State Women's Commission. She organized Mahila March at 100 days in 13 districts of Andhra Pradesh and organized rallies, awareness meetings in towns and cities across the Andhra Pradesh state for the next 100 days, which concluded on March 8, 2021 on the International Women's Day. Her prime most agenda is that government should give topmost priority in providing safety and security to women, and society's perception towards women should change. I, on behalf of Maristella, wish great success for all your endeavors, ma'am, and I feel happy to invite you to present your address to the gathering. Thank you.
Dear participants and my friends, I request you wait for a minute. The commissioner is trying to get into the meeting. Due to the technical problem, it's going to take. మెయిల్ పంపినా మ్యామ్. ఏపీ కమిషన్ మీకు పంపించాను కదా ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి కమిషన్.
Offering my humble salutations to Urinal. This is Yamtika and I am here to represent my views about online safety of women from sexual exploitation and human trafficking. Online abuses and human trafficking are one of the most repeated crimes all over the world. If we talk about the causes of these crimes, first point will be lack of awareness. Everyone who uses mobile phone or smartphone thinks they know everything about mobile phone, but they should know how to use the mobile phone safely. They don't know that. And second point will be mental health. According to a study, many accused of these crimes who committed these crimes are affected by many mental health issues, and that led them to these human trafficking and many other crimes. And victims of these abuses have many personal issues, personality disorders rather. If you ask me to give me an example, I'll tell you, suppose a girl of our age, I mean teenage, shares each and every detail of her online. If her mood gets off, she will share it online in Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms. And after that, she shares every place she goes, and she shares the food she eats and everything what not. And if this gets continued, others can read her mind, others can read her mood swings. Rather, the criminals can read her mind, her mood swings, and everything. Human trafficking are more in the case of her. So, if you have personality issues and you have mood swings and other disorders, so don't post such things in social media. Don't let anyone make advantage of your mood swings. And if you ask me what are the problems, what are the solutions for these problems, I have some of them. There are some practical solutions for this. The first problem is awareness, as I told you. So, to create awareness in school, we have learned brush your teeth twice a day, walk 30 minutes a day. In the same way, the present kids should be taught how to use phone in a secured way, in a healthy way, how to use your smartphone wisely, how to use the internet wisely, and how do's and don'ts using the mobile phone. The kids of present day should learn all these things, and awareness should be created mobile phone. And in Maricela College, Anti-Human Trafficking Club has launched last year, and that has created much awareness among all our students. Girls and all the girls, you may think it's our freedom to use phone as our wish. It's our freedom to use phone as our wish. But remember one thing: your freedom should not lead you to disastrous consequences. Thank you. Jai Hind.
అడిషన్ పంపించాలి లింక్ యాడ్ చేయాలి అని రావట్లేదు ఇన్వైట్ పంపించండి
Thank you very much.
దాన్ని ఓపెన్ చేయలేదు కదా
Your
సార్
wide vision about this online data, how to use and how the girls should be aware of using this online data and all those things involving in online issues.
ఇది మేడం ఇదే
ఇది
ఆన్లైన్ సేఫ్టీ
అదే స్క్రీన్ మొత్తం చేస్తాను
Hey guys, this is another ICT lecture brought to you by IC Detectives Philippines. I'm your host, JR Navarro, and in this episode, we'll be talking about the different ways that could help you get the best out of the technology that is available to you. We'll provide you with helpful tips and guidelines for safe social media life, as well as setting out the expectations for using the ICT equipment in and out of the school. So let's get started. First, always be secure. You should always keep your passwords to yourself and do not share them with anyone, even to your closest friends. But if you're a kid or a minor, let your parents know it for your own protection. You should always log out or log off your account on any of the devices that you're using in public places, like in computer rental shop or in public libraries. You never know what other might do to your account if you leave it. You should always lock your computer when you walk away from the screen, even for a short while. Especially in computer rental shop, other people may play a prank at you that can lead in hurting you or your friends. Second, be respectful. You should always be polite and use the appropriate language with the people you're chatting with. You never know who's on the end of the other line. You should not access, create, store, or distribute files that could be thought as offensive, indecent, or cause harm or upset others. This may land you to a serious crime offense like cyberbullying. You should not look at anyone else's files without their permission. Always remember, respect others' privacy. You should know that bullying by the use of text, multimedia messaging, email, or on social media site is unacceptable and may lead you to a very serious consequence on your part and the victim. Third, be safe. You should not share any of your personal information or other people's home address, phone number in the social networking sites. So now, yes now.
Do it! Yes, you can! Just do it!
Pause this video and edit your personal information on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social networking sites.
I'm back!
Next, you should be wary of any emails that ask you for any of your personal information. You might be victimized by identity theft if you answer to the spam mails sent by hackers. You should check with an adult about anything you see that concerns you or your friends and report it to the proper authorities. You should not put any personal details about other people into emails, posts, comments, or updates. Remember, bad people are just lurking everywhere in social networking sites. You should never meet up with anyone offline that you have only met online without a parent or a trusted adult with you. Kidnappers are there, waiting for a child to fall into their traps. And do not let yourself be one of them. Fourth, be responsible. You should think carefully about the places you go online and keep focus only on the things you are working on. Don't enter on suspicious and inappropriate websites. You should take good care of the ICT equipment you use. You should understand that if you are irresponsible in using the ICT, you might lose your access to it. You should understand that you may be able to use your own device or mobile phone in school only at agreed time. If you use it in class without permission, your device may be confiscated and your parents or guardian will be informed. Fifth, be legal. You should only copy, upload, publish, and distribute materials that are appropriate to the public. You should only take images or video of other people or friends with their full knowledge and permission. Publish and distribute image or videos of others without their permission. You should know that you should not copy materials, music, videos, or pictures from the internet and use them in your own work unless they are copyright-free or with proper citation and credits of the owner. You should remember that anything you do can be traced back to you, including your browsing history and the content you uploaded, copied, published, or distributed. Remember, anything you do or upload will be there in the internet forever.
Forever, 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 ever, forever, ever.
And even your grandchildren may search you in the internet. So thanks for watching. If you want to find out more information on how to keep safe with any aspect of online or digital safety, support us by clicking the like button and sharing this with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to see more future content like this. And down there is the link to our Facebook page that you should totally follow. So as always, stay curious.
Dear participants, ma'am is set ready to address us. Thank you, ma'am. We are very happy to see you online. Thank you for making your. We are looking forward to hear you.
Hello, Namaskar. Namaskaram.
ಫೋಟೋ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ
Ma'am, you can start. We can't hear you, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes,
This is
ma'am, you're audible.
Namaste, PM Nair. Hello.
Hello.
Audibility is good, ma?
Come here and talk. Good morning, sir.
Hello, Nair sir. After ma'am, you can speak, sir. Ma'am, you can start, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Is audience clear?
Yeah, yes, very much, ma.
Thank you. I am happy to welcome all the dignitaries for this international webinar. It is my privilege to deliver the inaugural speech. It is the pride moment for all the women in Andhra Pradesh in India that this international webinar is taking place in our state. I extend my hearty welcome to the international speakers from Africa, America, Philippines, Nepal, Pakistan, Vietnam, Italy, and speakers from 13 states of India. I congratulate the Department of Social Work in Mary Stella College for taking the initiative to organize this webinar. As we know that the world embraces a digital life where we are connected 24/7 and internet has become our second life and mobile phones are an extension of our personalities. Even though digital life is making our communication easy, women are exposed to the dark side of the virtual life. Women are at a greater risk. In recent times, there have been a spate of incidents targeting women with their safety, which is being compromised. We are proud of the government of AP, which has taken a lot efforts to safeguard women. So I would like to share with you that women should follow to ensure women's safety while enjoying an active social life online. Andhra Pradesh State Commission for Women aims at zero tolerance state against trafficking of women and children for sexual exploitation and also to create a society for providing online safety to women. In order to go in this direction, Andhra Pradesh government under the leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu has taken up many initiatives such as establishing anti-human trafficking clubs in each district by designating certain police officials to work round the clock in these units to combat human trafficking. In this context, Andhra Pradesh State Commission for Women, with the collaboration of International Justice Mission, an international organization, taken up the task of establishing of anti-human trafficking clubs in colleges and universities to sensitize girl students on the problem of trafficking of women and children for sexual exploitation. Till now, 10 anti-human trafficking clubs were formed. Andhra Pradesh State Commission for Women scheduled number of programs for creating awareness to girl students and women of all sections of society on precautions to be taken for online safety. In Andhra Pradesh State, Police Department is investigating cases by using up-to-date technology to catch hold of culprits of online harassment. But the recent trends of online harassment and also trafficking of women and children adopted new methods. Hence, the investigation should also be modified accordingly for speedy capture of accused. The other precautions to be taken by women and girls are: say no to strangers, be very careful with your passwords, customize your personal settings carefully, think before you share, don't follow trends blindly, and be smart with them. I am glad to acknowledge that women's safety has been the prime concern of the government of Andhra Pradesh. I wish you all the best for the 3-day international webinar. Thank you all.
Very good.
And the measures are taken by the government of Andhra Pradesh. You are a very dynamic leader, as a woman leader, dynamic, and you are always into solving the problems and enriching the women, empowering the women through governance. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your talk. Now, Ms. Gladys will be introducing PM Nayagar.
Good morning, all. Well, Dr. PM Nair is from Nayattinkarai in Kerala. Dr. Nair acquired an MA in Sociology from Kerala University, Trivandrum. He also has a PhD in Sociology. Dr. Nair worked with Indian Council of Social Science Research before joining IPS. Dr. Nair has 35 years of rich experience in IPS. Dr. Nair also served in Central Bureau of Investigations for 10 years and has investigated some very important cases, including Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, Bofors case, Indian Space Research Organization, espionage, and international human trafficking cases. Dr. Nair retired as Director General of Police of National Disaster Response Force, Government of India. He was Emeritus Professor at Tata Institute of Social Sciences for 6 years. He headed the Center for Public Security and the National Research on Human Trafficking in India. Dr. Nair has rescued personally or helped the rescue of 50,000 victims. He has also trained more than 50,000 stakeholders, including police and NGOs, etc., nationally and internationally. Dr. PM Nair is rightly known as the father of the anti-human trafficking movement in India. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaste to all of you. Good morning and good afternoon to all the esteemed delegates across the globe. It's a wonderful initiative by sister and team in having this international webinar. It will help facilitate sharing the thoughts and also getting new ideas as to how to go about. I'm very happy the first speaker, madam, from the Women's Commission, had made very clear as to what is a mandate. I'm so clear, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Very short and crisp, but very clear. Appreciate what you said. And in fact, that is exactly what I'm going to elaborate further. So I have my starting point is already done. And I'll take a permission to dealing at 12 o'clock because another international conference I committed. Therefore, I'll be a little fast in my delivery. If any doubt, you can send a message. I'll send you a reply also on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have I'm going to speak on the institutional systems available today. You may be aware, we have wonderful institutions in the country in addressing the issues of human trafficking. We have a legislation, we are going to have new legislation. Even the given legislation is also very powerful, very, very capable and very good. And we have anti-human trafficking units in the country. All districts in the country have an anti-human trafficking unit. It's a special task force with the police and NGO, civil society, in addressing human trafficking, both preventing and combating. Then we have set up the anti-human trafficking clubs in the colleges, the way you have a debating club, the way you have a moot club, and we have an anti-human trafficking club also. The youth power has become very strong. Madam rightly said the power of the youth channelized in the proper direction, and we can make a huge difference, not only in preventing from the grassroots, but also in addressing demand. Human trafficking is demand driven. When the youth speaks, the world listens. Now, the power of the youth is so good that it can address the issue of demand, not only in sexual exploitation, exploitative labor, organ trade, on all spheres. So, trafficking goes across all different spheres, and the youth power is a very important anti-human trafficking clubs. Thirdly, on the grassroots level, we have panchayat. It's a local democratic institutions which many other countries may not have. We have very strong, very powerful local democratic institutions we have. We call them panchayat. We have set up the panchayat against human trafficking. Mandals, panchayat against human trafficking. And there the panchayats people are empowered, locally elected democratic people are empowered, and then they work against the source of trafficking of the people in the source, means addressing the vulnerability. On one side, addressing the demand, and on the other side, addressing the vulnerability. So all these features have created some sort of momentum, which you have seen in the recent past. Coming back to the issue of online trafficking, it has actually increased. Darknet chat rooms show high demand. Darknet. Pornographic groups are operating in WhatsApp and Telegram also. Use of malware to activate webcams of victim and to steal info of children. I find a lot of young girls there, a lot of children there. I salute to all of you. God bless you, all of you. Please beware. Lot of malware is there to activate webcams of the victims of the people and steal info of the children. Obscene pictures and videos indoors, inside house, etc. are uploaded recently and in the net, which shows what is happening inside homes. Recently, there was a study in Delhi which showed that in a matter of 2 months' time, 5 million Indians have gone to the website looking for child pornography. Means child pornography is available. High demand. Where are the children? They are not being photographed in some beach or a guest house or somewhere. They are being shot in their own homes. So even the home has become unsafe. It happens in Vijayawada, it happens in Telangana, it happens everywhere. So ladies and gentlemen, our children, are they safe? They are not. So we need to educate how to take care of themselves. Obvious from the picture in the internet during this time. High-tech interception into dark web has been done by several police agencies, including Kerala Police, including Delhi Police, including Mumbai Police, and it shows how the dark web has been abused, internet has been abused by the traffickers. You know, when a disaster, I was heading the National Disaster Response Force. The Home Minister asked me, who is the first responder in a disaster scenario? I said, it is not the village or the police or the community, it's a trafficker. Mind you, the trafficker is always there, capitalizing every disaster. So here is a disaster in a COVID scenario. They have made inroads into our cell phones. All cell phone internets have been taken over by the traffickers. Therefore, careful. We are aware, we are educated, we are literate, we will be landing up with the trouble. They do a grooming very majestically, they do. They will show you some picture of Taj Mahal or something you like, or some bhajan or some kirtan or something, and they will quietly lead you through that. Beware. Such unwanted pictures, extremely careful. The use of internet now, because people are watching internet at home, the people are confined to home. So therefore, the police also is busy with so many other activities. Therefore, the traffickers have made several inroads into the thing. Malware is on the increase under the facade of corona protection. In the name of corona protection, in the name of COVID protection, malwares are on the increase. That is studied. Coronavirus.app.site it's a virus and tempts you to download the app. For example, don't do that. Coronavirus.app.site. We found that's a trap. That's a trap leading you into the traffickers world. We discovered so many of them by the law enforcement agencies. Therefore, please beware when you find some strange website. Don't avoid touching that. Then fictitious UPI handles have come up. The phishing emails have come up in the recent past. And ladies and gentlemen, in the response system, we have Interpol, we have CBI, we have CERTIN, Indian Computer Emergency Response Team of the Government of India. They're all there. So the simple solution I would say is that if you find something and pass it on to www.cybercrime.gov.in. cybercrime.governmentofindia.in. www.cybercrime.gov means government.in India. And if you want to use a Twitter handle, cyberdost, CYBERDOST. There will be prompt response. Please do that. Don't open the picture. Don't go into the site. You take a picture of the what has come and send it to them. Let them investigate and come back to you. They will do it. Solutions the madam started with the solutions, very simple, humble solutions. Strong password with a two-factor authentication. Change your password regularly. Different password for different devices. Do not use mobile to remind your password. Do not use mobile to remind your password. Not to reveal password like the CVV, etc. Avoid downloads from unknown sources. Avoid web link from unknown sources. Avoid apps from unknown sources. Regularly update your operating system. Use the updated auto malware software only. Backup precautions, the precious data on a different device or maybe on a hard copy. Precious data might be stolen by the fellows. Avoid carrying out e-commerce on e-banks with very, very carelessly. You think, oh, very easy to do e-commerce, e-banking. Do discreet, very, very, very diligently. Don't get into too much of activities. For work at home, if it's possible, VPN is very important there. They cannot steer much into that. Encrypt important documents. Encryption is possible, is not so difficult. Still, software, etc. That's easy way of tempting to do that. The temptation will come. Oh, you want a massage? You want a happy occasion? Something they will trap you. Don't go into that. Beware on that. Friendship requests. Somebody will come and ask you, hi, friendship, you are sitting alone, etc., etc. Many traps have come. Many people have been trapped in. For children, special and guidance is required. I can go on talking so many aspects on that, but I could stop with these important issues which came to my notice in the recent past. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are empowered, if we are alert, nobody can cheat us. Cheating and intrusion of the traffickers is possible when we are not alert, we are not educated, we are not aware. So your awareness can make a huge difference. Our awareness can make a huge difference. If we are aware and if we are up and about the whole thing, and if we are consciously doing our activities, I don't think the traffickers can make inroads, because traffickers capitalize on the weakness. Traffickers capitalize. Don't allow that opportunity to come. That if that being the case, I think we can prevent this sexual exploitation of women and children on our cell phone. Lot of children are being exploited. Our children are not for sale. Our women are not for sale. Let us take it forward as a mission that our children are safe. And we need to work on that. All of us get follow these small baby steps and work out the police, set up anti and take this as a mission. Go to the villages and set up panchayat against human trafficking. Get all of them. When we all together, traffickers can never enter. The is very important. Traffickers can never ever come near that. Spot it, act it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your powerful speech. We admire your courage and all the initiatives that you have taken for the sake of anti-human trafficking. Thank you for all the messages that you have given to us today. I just want to share with you, when I was working in the second largest commercial sex workers area in Bombay, even there, Many NGOs used to talk about PM Nayak. They used to say a lot of good things, a lot of initiatives that he has taken to safeguard people from human trafficking. I owe my gratitude to you, sir, for spending your valuable time with us and for your powerful speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless.
We have another special guest today. Can you guess from which country? Africa, Nepal, Pakistan, Italy. So we have with us online Mr. Vikash from Nepal. I'm very grateful to him because I contacted him only through mail. We have not spoken, we have not seen, but just through a mail and through the contact of Kaslika, she is in Nepal, a Good Shepherd sister, that Vikash has very willingly accepted to deliver his speech. Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Sandashri ma'am from the Department of English to introduce Vikash.
A very good morning to one and all, respected dignitaries, and all my colleagues who are conducting this workshop. I take this opportunity to introduce Vikas Dungana from Nepal. Vikas sir is a Nepalese national and development practitioner with experience of more than 10 years in the social work sector, particularly with migrant workers, conflict victims, marginalized children, adolescents, women, and marginalized communities on issues of migration, child protection, gender-based violence, commercial sexual exploitation, social inclusion, and human rights in various organizations in various capacities. He is currently working for the protection of the rights of Nepalese migrant workers, working particularly in GCC and Malaysia. He has extensive experience of engagement with the Nepalese diasporas and various networks of migrant workers. Currently, working as a project coordinator of the Safer Migration Project in PNCC, which means Parvasi Nepali Coordination Committee, which facilitates various problems of migrant workers referred by Migration Resource Center, national partners, diplomatic missions, and many other sources. He is also involved in the various reviews of policies and strategies related to migration and human rights. In addition, also a trainer and have facilitated various training workshops related to women's rights and migrant rights. Sir, welcome you to this 3-day webinar talk. Over to you, sir.
Just thank you. Thank you so much. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Namaste and good afternoon to everyone from Nepal. Thank you so much, organizer, for this wonderful introduction. And it's an absolute and it's a pleasure to be in this wonderful interaction program. I'm thankful to the organizer for giving me this opportunity to share some insight and perspective on trafficking and human and online safety in context of Nepal. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Well, I'll request organizer to allow me to share my presentation. Can you see my presentation? If someone can help me. Excuse me. Is presentation visible on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you once again. Well, I'll be sharing some of the insight on uh, online safety of women trafficking, online safety of women from human trafficking. Well, thank you, organizers, for this wonderful opportunity. Let me start with some ground stories of the victims that had suffered and have been the victim of trafficking. And most prominently, the use of online was one of the medium on those cases. Let me start with one of the cases that I have referred from the Anti-Human Trafficking Bureau of Nepal. Well, a girl from the remote village of Nepal was lured by the agent through the Facebook for the better work in Kathmandu. We can easily assume that most of the rural girl from rural part of Nepal will easily accept the good work in Kathmandu Valley. So she easily accepted that offer through the Facebook, and she reached the Kathmandu. And she started working in a guest house in Kathmandu. Everything was okay for a few days. But unfortunately, the traffickers or the perpetrators has planned different for her. And she was unfortunately forcefully raped and engaged in prostitution. Similarly, a girl from the remote area of Nepal was again lured by the agent through the use of WhatsApp, and she was assured to be provided amount of rupees 1,50,000 monthly salary in a Canadian company in Libya. So she was easily attracted with that traffickers or that agent, and she was taken to Dubai for some months. She was kept hostage over there. She was exploited, and then from Dubai she was taken to Libya. Again, in Libya, she was not offered what she has expected. She was again tortured and was exploited sexually and physically. Well, another same stories goes with another girl from Sindhu Palchuk district of Nepal. She was taken to Kuwait. She was convinced that she will get a handsome salary and good work in Kuwait, and she paid a hefty sum of money around 4,40,000 to the agent with an expectation that she will get a real good work in Kuwait. But the reality was different. After being physically and sexually exploited for 3 years, she escaped from the employer and she was in contact of Nepal embassy. And she has, thankfully, she has returned to Nepal now, and the case is forwarded to Anti-Trafficking Bureau. With this ground stories, I just want to make a point is that the issue is very rampant. It's a high time that we all stakeholders must indulge in it. It's a right time that we all should address these issues effectively. And most prominently, what I want to make note from this story is that the use of online medium, that is our topic for the discussion today. The use of online media is rampant, and traditionally there were different forms of coercion and power threats were used, but in recent time the online medium has been one of the catalysts or one of the methods that is rampant and easily accessible to the traffickers to lure the innocent girls from different parts of the country. Well, with this background, I would like to move on forward. National Human Rights Commission of Nepal estimated that there were around 35,000 cases of human trafficking in 2018, while 15 lakh people are vulnerable to human trafficking. You can see the report can easily, we can predict that the issue is very rampant and it's a high time. And in the name of foreign employment, 12,000 workers were trafficked. Similarly, in the entertainment sector, 7,000 people were trafficked. Likewise, in the worst form of child labor, 3,000 children were being the victim of trafficking. This data is enough to show that the issue is highly prevalent in every corner of the world, and it is more, and the innocent people are being more vulnerable with the development of with the misuse of the online system. Well, But on the contrary, when we look at the case or the behavior of justice seeking behavior of the victims or the survivors, you will it is very low. When you look at the 3 years data of human trafficking, a case that has been reported to anti-human trafficking bureau, you will see that only 528 cases on the one side, and National Human Rights Commission has reported that there are amount 35,000 people were being were the victim of human trafficking. But on the contrary, the reporting of the case is very minimal. That is only 528. We can imagine, from this we can analyze the justice seeking behavior of the victims, or there are different dimensions that has obstructed the victims from taking the judicial support. So I urge every stakeholders from this platform that this is one of the key area where we all should focus and encourage the victim or the survivors to report the cases, so that the culprits, the perpetrators will be in the judicial arena and they will be punished according to the law. And on other side, you will see the number of female are high as a traffic who face traffic issue of trafficking. And in the same way, when you look at the accused or the perpetrators, the scenario or the number of the male is high. So I think we have to very focus on one aspect. With this table, I want to urge every stakeholder that we should motivate, and we should firstly we should try to create awareness on the people, common people. Once they get victimized, then we should encourage and motivate them to take the judicial process, so that the culprits will be punished, and they will be in the arena of judicial process. Likewise, moving ahead, in context of Nepal, as I'm just trying to give overview of the scenario of human trafficking in context of Nepal. Basically, there are three forms of human trafficking in Nepal. One, inside the country, girls from the remote area, people are basically trafficked to the big cities like Kathmandu, similarly Pokhara and Biratnagar, where innocent girls are forcefully involved in the work in cabin, dance, restaurant, massage center, where they are sexually exploited. Similarly, as we all know, Nepal shares an open border with India, around 1,200 kilometers of open border, and so the border is open and there is no restriction in the movement of people to and fro. So that is also one of the major concern through which the innocent Nepali girls and women have been trafficked to the big cities in India. Likewise, in recent trend, we have another important and the vital that is rampantly increasing in present context is the cross-border trafficking of girls from beyond India. In the name of foreign employment, the issue is more rampant. Likewise, after saying this, I would like to give more focus on one aspect, that as the data also has shown, that women are mostly vulnerable, the girls are mostly vulnerable to the victim of trafficking. So I think we have to look more seriously on this part. As in the initial introduction session, organizers also have said that the patriarchal society, women as the subordination to the male and unequal power relation has created a scenario that has increased the vulnerabilities of women to be the victim of trafficking. So I think all of us, all stakeholders involved with this issue we must try to work on this and to break this culture or this societal status that has kept women as a subordination to male and unequal power relation. I think our efforts should be directed on towards breaking this structure. This structural discrimination is the major cause that enhances the trafficking. So I think I will request once again, I would like to request every stakeholders to more focus on this breaking this structure. Once we are able to break this structure, ultimately this will result in lessening the issues of human trafficking and other kind of gender-based violence to women and girls. Likewise, there are various changing trends of human trafficking in present context. I have already shared in my initial speech that trafficking, the modus operandi of the trafficking has gradually been changed. Initially it was like that the coercive measures such as threats, drugs were used to traffic. But in the present context, we see that's the luring of the innocent people, and with the false promise of good employment and salary are the change in the modus operandi that the traffickers are using in this present context, and that has enhanced the accessibility through the online medium. So it is easy for the trafficker to victimize the innocent people. So I think we have to really concern on this, and we must aware our community and people about the safety measures to be used to prevent this. In the same way, fake marriages, pretending to tour and pretending to visit relatives are also the different modus operandi of trafficking of girls and women are used in this present context. Likewise, we have also seen in the change in the trend of labor migration. In the name of visit visa, in the name of education visa, traffickers are indulged in victimizing the workers, victimizing the innocent girls and the people. So we must be sensitive on this issue, and more importantly, when we are talking about the online safety of the women and girls, NHRC report on human trafficking has clearly reported that use of virtual medium like Imo, WeChat, and Viber as the medium of communication between the victim and the perpetrators are common in nowadays. So the awareness part of using these online mediums are most vital to this context. Well, another aspect when we are talking about the mobility, human trafficking of female migrant workers, one of the restrictive approach, I think this restrictive approach is also one of the major cause that enhances the human trafficking of the innocent female workers and the female members of our community. As you know, that Nepal government has a mixed approach. It has implemented a certain kind of ban for the female domestic workers at times, and at times it has released that ban. That has also forced the women migrant workers to choose the irregular route for the migration. That enhances their vulnerability. Once they decide to choose the irregular routes, it's become easy for the traffickers to exploit their vulnerabilities and make and indulge them in more hazardous work and enhance their vulnerability. So I think I request from this forum to the Nepal government and as well as to the all stakeholders that this restricted approach must be reviewed, and we must respect the right to mobility of the female migrant workers. Along with that, the regulation must be there. But we can, in the name of regulation or the protection, we cannot restrict the right to mobility of the female migrant workers. Similarly, yes, there are various legislation and mechanism in context of Nepal. Nepal has a good, on paper, Nepal has a very strong legislation and mechanism established to tackle the issue of human trafficking. We have Human Trafficking and Transportation Control Act 2007, likewise Foreign Employment Act, Foreign Employment Regulation, and Electronic Transaction Act that governs the online abuse through Electronic Transaction Act, and human trafficking issue through Human Trafficking and Transportation Act. But this legislation are very good on paper, but we have to seriously look more critically on the implementation of part of this mechanism, and it is vital that this legislation is not on the paper, but it should be really implemented on the ground. So we all should look into that. In the same way, there are various mechanisms involved in combating the human trafficking, as we have National Committee for Controlling Human Trafficking in the national level. Similarly, we have Anti-Human Trafficking Bureau of Nepal Police that is really active in combating the trafficking. And similarly, we have Foreign Employment, Department of Foreign Employment that looks over the foreign employment issue concerned with human trafficking as well as foreign employment other issues. And we have Foreign Employment Board for the welfare for the victim of the or the survivor of the human trafficking. So this we have a wonderful mechanism and legislation on the paper, but their implementation is really the thing to be looked on. There are certain recommendations that will be helpful in dealing or combating the issue of human trafficking. Is one, first of all, we have already recommended the Palermo Protocol, optional protocol of organized transnational crime. So it's a high time that we should domesticate our that Palermo Protocol to our domestic legislation, and our Act, Human Trafficking and Transportation Control Act, should be amended according in line with the Palermo Protocol. Similarly, we should also look over in expanding availability and capacity of the victim care, including shelter and repatriation. Likewise, the ban and restriction on the mobility of female that should be uplifted. That will help to choose the female to go through the regular route, minimizing the vulnerabilities of migration, human trafficking. Similarly, human trafficking issue should be looked through the gender lens, because most of the victims are female. However, the recent studies have shown that male are equally vulnerable to that, but special attention should be given to the woman community, to the woman. In the same way, as we share the open border with India, the regulation of the open border must be there. The system of surveillance should be kept in place so that that will decrease the frequency of human trafficking activities. Likewise, the diplomatic mission, once the case is related to a destination country, the capacity of diplomatic mission should also be increased to tackle the issue of human trafficking, and effective and efficient rapid response unit should be in place to combat the issue of crisis. And more importantly, as previous speaker has also clearly said, that the online system, we all must aware our community on using the online system properly. In case of any vulnerabilities, we should enhance our capacity to complain to the concerned authority. So all these procedures should be clearly known to every citizen of the society, so that they will be careful in using this online system, and once the problem occurred, they can take the support from the concerned authority. Well, with this, I would like to conclude my presentation that the current situation can only be improved if all concerned stakeholders adapt a collective and coordinated approach, because the intensity of the problem is such that a single body will be insufficient to address it effectively. So I urge every corner of the society and every stakeholders involved with this to advocate this issue, and more importantly, we should aware our generation, new generation, more to the adolescents, girl and women, about the online procedure and system about this issue. And once the problem is occurred, they must know the procedure to complain to the concerned authority. With this, I would like to end my presentation. Well, if there is any queries and issues, I will be happy to address on that. Thank you so much. Last not the least, thank you so much to all the organizers and the participants for having patience to listen to me, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Let's join hand together to combat this issue. Thank you so much.
Just 1 minute.
Thank you, sir, for patiently explaining to us about forms and types of human trafficking and the changing trends and all the initiatives of the government of Nepal to work against human trafficking and protect the trafficked victims. Thank you so much for spending your time and taking trouble to prepare and address our gathering. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now we have another vibrant speaker from Italy. She is Sister Gabriella Botni, missionary sister. Since 2015, she coordinates Talitha Kum, the international network against human trafficking. A Catholic-led initiative with the purpose to promote anti-human trafficking activities. Sister Gabriella was born in Italy. She is a social activist. As a missionary sister, she shared her life in Germany and in the outskirts of Brazil, living in intercultural communities. In 2019, during the celebration of 10th anniversary of Talitha Kum, Sister Gabriella was awarded by the US State Department and by the President of Italian Republic for her leadership. Dear friends, here I would like to tell you, it was in the year 2016. It was a great effort of Sister Gabriella who invited me to Vatican. And I had the opportunity to meet her in Vatican. And she coordinated the global network very effectively. She is very active, and I am very happy to tell you she has visited the beautiful city of our New Delhi. She was with us for a few days, going around and interacting, especially the trafficked victims. She was wonderstruck by the initiatives taken by the Indian government. There is a forum called Amarat, Asian Movement of our religions working against trafficking in persons. This is the powerful movement which is part of Talitha Kum in Rome. I'm happy, dear Sister Gabriella, that you made a point to be with us. It was an hour ago she informed me the network in Italy is not stable, but it is providence and God's grace that she is here and she is going to address us. Thank you, Sister Gabriella, for being with us online.
Good morning from Italy and good afternoon for all of you. And thank you, Sister Sahaya, for inviting me and remembering that very interesting meeting. And also, I would like to thank you for your commitment in raising awareness and mobilizing people and students in this case to understand deeper what is human trafficking and why it is so important that we really get informed and activate to fight against this scourge on the body of our humanity, as Pope Francis is defined human trafficking. Dear students, I am really very glad and happy to be with you today and the Maristella College. Congratulations also for these anti-trafficking clubs. The idea of networking that I was really involved since I knew about human trafficking, I realized that it was such a big and a complex phenomenon that it was not possible to work alone. And it was important to strengthen relationship and to collaborate in order to transform the reality that is really bringing into many our brothers and sisters they are trapped into trafficking and exploitation. You know a lot about, I have heard that you were speaking about international conventions, so you know what is human trafficking. It's what I like to say, because I was helped also by a student in Brazil, that there are a huge and very organized network of people with the purpose to exploit other people to earn money. Money is what is moving human trafficking and is the center of the interest. But it's not money that we all need to survive. This is money that are really based on exploitation, and they are destroying the dignity of many people, particularly women around the world. If we would like to struggle on to face and to make visible trafficking in person, that is still one of the most hidden crime, but is mobilizing a huge amount of illegal money, we need really to respond, creating another amazing, strong networking, putting in the middle dignity, first of all, and second, the common good of people, not the particular interest of one person or another. And when we are able to transform it, I think that it will be much more difficult for traffickers to recruit and to exploit. Let us go back to today, and this is very important to say, because why a network against human trafficking, and why not to organize an NGO, for example? We could start as women religious Catholic sisters with a beautiful NGOs or individual project, but that was not enough. We felt that we needed to strengthen trust relationship, first of all, and we had that because we know one each other. Or when I went to India, to Delhi, I never met that sister in Delhi, but I trust them. And when I arrived at the airport, I felt myself at home. This is that you know that you really, you can trust other people, however you do not know them, because you have the same purpose, you belong to the same humanity. And that was a very important leading and inspiring to improve really, first of all, in myself, trust to the other. I need to learn to trust, not to mistrust. We are losing this trust because of it's okay. We have a lot of reason of that. And often the trust is the one bringing people into trafficking. You trust the information you received on Facebook, inviting you for a better job, or you trust a friend of you inviting you for something, or the pastor of the church, or a leader of your organization, and then you fell into a very different reality that it is the one of human trafficking. Often, in many parts of the world, are also members of the same family leading people into exploitative condition and situation, and some of them are also victims of human trafficking. So how we can really, and you, the youth, I think you may play a very important role. We do not have to lose our dream. We do not have to lose this basic element to build safe relationship like trust, but we need really to develop it in a way and to grow in a way that they are very positive for our safety, but also the safety of other people. Going back, so human trafficking and networking is not optional, but it is a needs to improve and to combat this crime. In the Palermo Protocol, we have the 3P. There is protection, prosecution, and prevention, but there is a 4th P, that it is partnership. And this is the one that we need to improve at all levels. And I congratulate also the Sister Sahaya and Stella Maris College for inviting so diverse reality, all committed for the same purpose in anti-trafficking. When we build networking, we have often the image of Facebook, of the social media. Now we have others like Instagram, Telegram, where we are connected and we can really get in touch or follow our other people. The networking, and maybe one is in Italy, the other one is in Pattaya, Thailand, another one is in India, in New Delhi, or in whatever in the world, or in Lagos, Nigeria, and we can all be connected. For Talitha Kum, the first level of connection and the most important is the local connection. In the same country or in the same, I would like to say in the same city or in the same province and region, because we need to strengthen really collaboration at the local level. Because when we are struggling in this, we are organizing ourselves to face human trafficking, we do not have to be alone at all levels. So I was really, I appreciated the creation of the club, the idea of having clubs in the schools. That's really very good because it's bringing a bit this idea of creating local groups, and then the groups are connecting one another. That's really very, very important. So first of all, a networking starting from the local level and then moving into the different levels of following the routes of trafficking, linking together reality in the rural area where people are recruiting, maybe with the big cities where people are exploited, or area in the rural area where they are exploited in the different areas, sexual exploitation or labor exploitation, but also at international level and at global level. This is the very simple and basic idea of Talitha Kum. What I'm telling you is the methodology, trusting one another, building relationship at the local, regional, and international level with the clear purpose to support survivors, to identify survivors of trafficking, but also to identify strategies to prevent human trafficking. And with this, I would like also to conclude my 10 minutes presentation, because this is important to work with survivors and to respond to the real needs of people that are able to escape exploitation, but we need really to transform. For preventing the reality, we need to transform the reality. We need to transform the mentality of exploitation, promoting a mentality of care and human dignity. The my good to the good for every person and the common goods. And we need also to work to reduce inequalities in order to promote equal opportunities for everybody. And especially working with in many countries, I was told that it is sometimes the sister said, we tell people that, for example, I had a very Nigeria, and they said, we are speaking about, they know what is human trafficking, but they know the risk they are going through, but they accept invitation because the young people, they are looking for a better life, they are looking for to fulfill their dreams, a dream of better life. And we know that it is real. How we can, but if we do not give a real alternative to them, how can we stop that? How we can really transform the mentality of the people if we do not offer a real alternative to the exploitation or to the risk of leading people into human trafficking and exploitation. I would invite you, and Sister Sahaya, this is also for you to connect. We have students that are organizing themselves in many parts of the world. For example, in Jordan, local schools started to work deeply the issues of human trafficking. In Thailand, there are young people in the Philippines and in many parts, but particularly in Asia, the youth are taking the leadership in organizing clubs, anti-trafficking ambassadors, or whatever they use as expression to get involved. And I think I was really deeply touched by that movement coming from Asia, connected with Talita Kum. And I can only invite you to, and if you agree also through Sahaya, to connect you somehow with other students, because when we join forces and we support one each other, we can learn one each other, and we can learn a lot from you. Youth, because there is also a survivor, Joy, young survivors with us in this journey. So I once again thank you for your interest. Thank you for your commitment, and yeah, whatever, I invite you also to follow Talita Kum in the social media, and also to write to us through Sahaya, Sister Sahaya. And I will be very pleased to respond and to answer. To give you an idea, Talita Kum was born as a little seed, and now we have 50 networks, 50 networks around the world, gathering more than 3,000 people, all committed with the same purpose: to fight human trafficking, to combat human trafficking. And we belongs to different faith tradition, we belongs to different cultures, countries, but all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sister Gabriela, for this wonderful speech. Thank you, Sister. Even though you are on your holiday, you could spend few minutes with us, and it shows that your love of the work for this cause. I thank you, Sister, for all the efforts that you are taking to free and deliver. Sister Gabriela, I would like to tell you, and proud to tell you, the Anti-Human Trafficking Club here, which we launched at Maristella College on 10 December 2019, with the collaboration of International Justice Mission, was the first ever club in Andhra Pradesh. I hear to note that the government of Andhra Pradesh recognized the club at Maristella College and gave us the state award. It shows the interest of the state to protect women. Sister, I also thank you. You have well fulfilled One of the objectives of this webinar is to have a global view of the human trafficking issue. As I had a chance to chat with Sister, she is having a wider view of this issue, and we are planning to have an international meeting calling all the students from all over the world to educate them, to make aware of this societal issue of human trafficking. I would like to tell also to the participants, tomorrow going to be the special day for this webinar. Tomorrow the anti-human trafficking clubs in all over India. There are 100 clubs in Karnataka. There are many clubs in Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, Chennai, and different states. The students are going to come together tomorrow online to discuss about how we can take forward this anti-human trafficking club. Thank you, Sister Gabriela, for your valuable message to all of us. God bless you. Can you guess the next country? Some of our students are saying rightly, yes, it is South Africa. I take very pride in introducing to you Dr. Father Obino. He is a Catholic priest. I admire his dedication and willingness to speak to us online. Now I call upon Ms. Josephine, the head of the Department of Economics, to introduce the resource person to us.
Hello, everybody. Are you able to get me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is the father, Dr. Mulenga from Southern Africa, in particular Zambia. I would like to first and foremost express my sincere thanks and appreciation to Sister Sahaya for inviting me to be part of this webinar. It's very interesting to note that today we talk about this very important topic concerning human trafficking. And I would like to say to begin with that we need to define what this human trafficking is all about. Because nowadays we are talking about cyber sex trafficking. It's a new term because traditionally when we talk about human trafficking, we are discounting the use of computer. But nowadays, anyone with a smartphone is able to access to whatever information, whatever material is available on the market, be it good or bad. So I would say we are all vulnerable, and especially for young people. Now, this trafficking in cyber sex is growing. It's a growing industry, and it's quite devastating form of modern day slavery. I call it a modern day slavery because, you know, only goods can be trafficked. But when it involves human beings, then we call it slavery. It's enslaving. Now, when you look at what is happening today
Sister, can you
in
hear
the
me?
world, hello?
Hello, Father. A very good morning. Can I interrupt you?
Yes, please.
Yeah. There was a connection internet problem. Is there? Namaskar, Father. It's a duty given to me to introduce to the gathering, so I interrupt you before you speak. Just I wanted to introduce to the audience, Father.
Okay, sorry.
There was a
Thank
connection
you.
problem. There was a connection problem, internet problem. So it was taken little time. Sorry for that. Respected principal, organizers of the international webinar, resource persons from all over the world, India, AP, delegates, participants, staff, students. A very good afternoon to all of you who are in India, and a very good morning to all the delegates, speakers of the world. I'm indeed very happy to introduce Dr. Father Obinosi Molango from the Zambia, South Africa. Father's educational qualifications are paramount. He has done his diploma in philosophy, BA in theology, master's degree in school counseling, and his PhD in clinical psychology from Zambia Catholic University. Father worked in diversified areas. Few of them are I'm mentioning here. As a professor in Lysam University of Philippines, Registrar Zambia Catholic University, and at present, Father is a Deputy Vice Chancellor and Head Graduate Mizak Ecclesiastic Assistant. Father is a regular member in Philippines Mental Health Association and a member in Psychological Association Zambia, associate member in Psychological Association of the Philippines, and member in Counseling Council of Zambia. His thrust areas are the relationship with the church and society, and Father is mostly concentrating on the rural areas. As Father is from African country, definitely Father thrust area is mainly on rural areas. Father addressed many challenges of young people faced today, like especially rural youth and young people, girl children and also the boy children, and mainly on his challenges and speeches on lack of motivation, element of isolation, how the poverty was increasing day by day, and actual repression in the church. Thank you, Father, for accepting to be the resource person for 3-day international webinar. We eagerly waiting for waiting to hear from you. On behalf of the management and staff, students of Maristella College, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, India, I welcome to this 3-day international webinar on behalf on online safety of women from sexual exploitation, human trafficking. Thank you and welcome to 3-day international seminar, and thank you so much, Father, for accepting, and please you can continue. I again apologize and say sorry to interrupt you, Father. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Josephine, Head Department of Economics, Maristella College, Vijayawada. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Josephine, and I'm privileged that I can talk to the students of Maristella College and all the people that are present on this platform. As I earlier mentioned, that when we talk about cyber sex trafficking, it's one of the most, modern topic that is being discussed. And I'm coming from Africa and southern part of Africa in particular. When we look at the continent of Africa, it's a very huge continent with about 53 sovereign states. And I can say that over a period of time, Africa is getting modernized, which means that people are having access to smartphones. And as such, they can easily be exploited. Now, I began by defining what cyber sex trafficking is. I said it's a growing, devastating form of modern day slavery. Why? Because live sexual abuse of children is streamed via internet, coerced by adults who collect money through online transactions. So children are recorded or directed in real time by predator or pedophilias located anywhere in the world. So with that background, you can see that women and children are victims, and the victimizers can sit anywhere in the world. Now, you look at the danger of this type of trafficking is that it is exposing very innocent young people to all forms of moral corruption. Now, how different is this cyber sex trafficking from the traditional one? So I was trying to think about times. Yeah, I was trying to think about the traditional periods. By tradition, I'm talking about the history. When you look at how people, human beings were trafficked in goods, and now comparing to today, when we have this form of, trafficking using internet, then we can see a big problem. A reason being that a smartphone is now in the hands of young people with easy availability of internet connectivity. So which means anyone who has internet connectivity can access to whatever is going on. Now, this cyber sex trafficking involves different set of criminals and victims. So the proliferation of the internet in developing countries like Zambia makes it possible for pedophiles and the predators who would not have otherwise been able to direct or purchase live streamed sexual abuse online. So many developing countries in Africa today have not been spared. So you find where there are, unsuspected victims and victimizers are sitting at the comfort of their bedrooms or their sitting rooms or their, backyards, and they are involved in this crime, which we are calling a cyber crime. Now, who are these producers of footages in cyber crimes? These are adults. We believe that adults are supposed to care for the younger people. We believe that these adults are supposed to be responsible, but they are not. The main focus of what they want is first and foremost money. As one sister pointed out before, a speaker before, to say it's money driven. So by wanting money, people are exploiting young women and even young girls. So there are basic questions that we can ask with that kind of background. First of all, the first question that I'm likely to think about is, what is it that motivates young people to engage in cyber sex? And the second question is, what is the status of these young people? Who are they? The third question is, who are likely to fall prey to this type of enterprise? And the last one is, what can be done at family and community level to address this problem? So when we look at these four questions, the first question, which talks about motivation, why should somebody engage in this type of immoral doing? So we can point out so many reasons. Here, maybe we talk about poverty, that a lot of people, because of this poverty, they are driven into this type of engagement. We can talk about wanting to be exposed, talking about exposure. They think the more they would associate with internet using exchange of this information on pornography, then they are becoming more like, I would put it like they are becoming even more modern or more sophisticated. So these are some of the questions that probably are difficult to answer, but at the same time, I would like that young people begin to reflect on them, so that if they can find the answers, then probably this can help in terms of combating this type of human trafficking. Now, I would like to expose you to maybe something that is happening here. How does cyber sex trafficking operate in Africa? I would say with the countries that are present in Africa, so many of them, I said more than 53 countries across the continent. And many of these are no longer, rural, because they are served by internet, and so which means that they can easily access information coming from anywhere. So in short, we can say a lot of areas are becoming westernized or urbanized, and as such, they are vulnerable. Unlike in many, street or bar-based sex trafficking cases in which customers would go to a particular, place and access to, this human trade in flesh, they can now easily do it online. So that is the reason why it's a concern to everyone that today we see this cyber sex trafficking is growing, even in places where maybe it was least expected to flourish. Now, you see, the cyber sex trafficker then has, an opportunity to exploit the availability of these people who are waiting anywhere so that he or she can do his business. It's rather very devastating today, and it's very difficult that people who are responsible can really engage in this type of cyber sex trafficking. Now, we don't end there. Nowadays, many governments in Africa have responded. And I can give an example of maybe my own country here in Zambia, where the government is trying to, enforce some rules. We come up with, in Zambia, for example, there's a sector in the government which is called ZICTA. They deal with all forms of cyber crimes in order to combat, one of these crimes called cyber sex crime. So I'd like just to point out that in 2017, there was a cyber draft bill which was drafted in Zambia. And the objective of this bill was to authorize the taking of measures to ensure that the criminals who are involved in these cyber sex crimes are brought to book. Number one, first of all, was to protect the victims against cyber crime. Number two, to provide for child online protection. Also provide information and communication technology. Also to provide education on cyber security, and so on. So then you can see that the effort of the government in order to fight cyber crimes is underway in most countries in Africa. Now, I would like to address the issue of the psychological impact of this cyber sex or human trafficking. You know, the first point that I would like to, bring forth is that what are the signs that a child who is being sexually abused show? So often, children often don't talk about sexual abuse because they think it is their fault, or they have been convinced by their abuser that it is normal, or it's a special secret. Children may also be bribed or be threatened by their abuser, or be told they won't be believed if they disclose. A child who is also being sexually abused may care for their abuser and worry about getting them into trouble. There are also some of the signs which may be noticed. For example, a change in behavior. A child may start to be aggressive, or withdrawn, or clingy, or have difficulties in sleeping, or start, behaving strangely. The child may also begin to avoid the abuser. They may dislike or seem afraid of a particular person, or try to avoid spending time alone with them. So these are some of the impacts or psychological impacts that we see in the children or the people who are exposed to this cyber sex. There are further ones. The changes in human behavior, that is, the child may start maybe showing some anxiety signs. So sexual abuse children usually have short-term or even long-term memories that they are harmed, including the psychopathology in later life. Some of them may express even some signs of depression or anxiety, or eating disorders, or poor self-esteem, sometimes even somatization. So you see, it's an whole array of disturbance in someone who has been abused because of exposure to this cyber sex trafficking. So having discussed a number of issues, I think I've jumped from one issue to the other because of the lack of time, and just to show how devastating, even here in Africa, this cyber sex trafficking is affecting so many people. So with those few remarks or words, I would like to conclude my sharing on cyber sex trafficking. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, I would address them. Hello?
Yes, Father.
Hello? Father Odino, we are grateful.
Yes, please.
We are grateful to you, Father, for your valuable speech. You have given us a very clear idea about human trafficking and online safety.
Hello, I'm done with my share.
Yeah, I'm thanking you, Father. I'm proposing a vote of thanks for your wonderful speech.
Thank you.
I am Sister Sahara, who is in touch with you. Thank you so much, Father. Before we propose vote of thanks, I would like to inform all the participants of this webinar. Tomorrow going to be the special day for this webinar, as we are going to discuss about the anti-human trafficking clubs in India and abroad. The resource persons for tomorrow is from USA, Pakistan, and Nepal. The Indian speakers will be from Karnataka, Hyderabad, Delhi, Kerala, and AP. I request all of you to join and promote online safety for you, for me, and all the women in this world. Now I call upon Professor Saraswati Iyer, Director at University from the University of Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Anti-Human Trafficking Club and the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Maristella College, I extend a formal vote of thanks to all the distinguished dignitaries and participants for making this inaugural function of the 3-day international webinar on online safety of women from sexual exploitation and human trafficking a grand success. I profusely thank Srimati Vasireddy Padma Garu, the Honorable Chairperson of AP Mahila Commission, for her inaugural speech. In spite of her busy schedule, she has taken some time to be part of this inaugural function. I thank Madam for her valuable presence. I wholeheartedly thank Dr. P.M. Nair Garu, IPS, retired DGP of NDRF, Government of India, Advisor, NRCHT, RR University, Ahmedabad, for his valuable presentation on IJM interventions for online safety of women in India. Dr. P.M. Nair Garu has always been supportive in all our programs by way of sharing his knowledge on human trafficking. I am happy to thank Sri Bikash Dungana, the project coordinator from Nepal, for his presentation on online safety of women from human trafficking in Nepal. Thank you for your inputs. I profusely thank Sister Gabriella Botani, SMC International Coordinator from Italy, for sharing knowledge on Global Network, Talita Kum, based on her professional experience in Italy. Thank you, Madam, for the valuable inputs on Global Network, which is essential to combat the issue of human trafficking. I sincerely thank Reverend Father Dr. Obino from Zambia Catholic University from South Africa for throwing light on online safety of women from human trafficking in South Africa. I thank the management of Maristella College, particularly Sister Sliva Tumma, correspondent, Dr. Sister Jacinta Quadras, principal, Sister Sahai Mary, the head of the Department of Social Work, Dr. Little Flower, Dr. Josephine Sandhya, and other faculty members for thinking of organizing such an important webinar and for bringing experts from different parts of the globe under one platform for sharing the knowledge and experiences on the said topic. I take this opportunity to profusely thank all the dignitaries, participants from different parts of the world for their active participation. I thank the people from print and electronic media for their support. I thank the technical experts for their technical support. Last but not the least, I thank all those who directly or indirectly contributed for the successful conduct of this inaugural function. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Saraswati ma'am, for the wonderful word of thanks that you proposed. Thank you for all the collaboration and the support that we received from you especially from the University of Nagarjuna University, AP, India. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request all the participants
think power gone there. Sister Sahaya, is electricity problem is there in the college? Sister Sahaya? Is electricity problem, Sister Sahaya, I think?
Yes,
Power
ma'am.
gone? Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Can you wait for just for 2 minutes? Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes. Yeah, party delegates, please be on the line. There is some power cut in the college. They are doing the arrangements. Immediately you will get the power. They are doing some alternate routes to that. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Participants, please kindly wait for 2 seconds. We are going to sing national anthem.
Sister Sahaya, you are muted. Unmute your mic, sister.
జనగణమన
మనకు రావట్లేదు కదా ఇది ఆన్లైన్ లేదు
Please be on the line. There is some power cut in the college. They are doing the arrangements. Immediately you will get the power. They are doing some alternate routes to that. Sorry for the inconvenience.
ఇదేనా అదో తెలియట్లేదు ఇప్పుడు. యా పంపించాను.
జనగణమన అధినాయక జయ హే భారత భాగ్య
అదే తెలియట్లేదు ఇప్పుడు.
అక్కడ ఏది పెట్టినా ఒకటే నువ్వు ఏది పెట్టినా రన్నింగ్
రెండు ఆన్లోనే ఉన్నాయా?
రన్నింగ్ లో
Participants, please kindly wait for 2 seconds. We are going to sing national anthem.
స్టార్టింగ్ నుంచి
జనగణమన అధినాయక జయ హే భారత భాగ్య విధాత పంజాబ్ సింధు గుజరాత్ మరాఠా ద్రావిడ ఉత్కళ వంగా వింధ్య హిమాచల యమునా గంగా ఉచ్చల జలధి తరంగా तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाये तव जय गाथा जय गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे
Thank you so much. Thanks to all the participants. The webinar for this day has ended. We shall see you tomorrow online. Tomorrow 2 p.m. according to the Indian time. You can log in with the same link. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you. బిగినింగ్ ఉంది అదే ఆ మెయిల్తో మనం జాయిన్ అవ్వాలి.
అది నాకు తెలియదు కదా.